Hi, I'm Lita Leapins.
And I'm Jim Gordon.
And welcome to another edition of Our City Tonight.
Well, we're starting out the show where we start every Our City Tonight right here at Hubcast Studios.
And we've got a lot of great things coming up on the show, so
let's get right to Our City Tonight. Well, there are a number of great places you can check out here at the park. I'm in one of them right now called D6, a great cool lounge, and I'm with the guy who makes the cocktails because it's time for our next edition of the Octavia Vodka Cocktail segment. Mateo, you're the guy that makes these drinks, and I do not try them until I'm on camera with you. So let's talk about this first one featuring Octavia Vodka.
So the first drink we have here is the Palm. Its main ingredient is Octavia Vodka.
Right.
Then it has a little bit of Giffard Violet, Pernod, anise liqueur, apple juice, lime juice, and simple syrup.
And what was the second ingredient?
Giffard Violet.
Oh, very nice. Okay, and I know you guys change it up with Octavia quite often, so this is the kind of drink that would be around for a month or two?
It will probably be on until the end of January.
End of January, so
sure.
great holiday drinks. I'm going to try this right now for the first time. And I will be trying this again for the second time as soon as we stop rolling the camera. We've got a bunch more drinks to talk about. We're going to come back to D6 a little later in the show with, I think we've got 2 or 3 more drinks to talk about, all featuring Octavia Vodka. We'll be back from D6 coming up later in the show. Well, standing here on Main Street, just south of Vancouver on a gorgeous sunny autumn day. It's time for another edition of City Vibes with our City Vibes guest, Clara. She's with Lita right now. Before we get to that, we should let you know that City Vibes is brought to you by Pure Maple Water. Lita.
thanks, Jim. And it's interesting, Main Street has always been known as a great shopping area, but if you go a little bit further down, you can find some incredible stores like this particular store, Giving Gifts, a really amazing find. And Clara, you always find these real gems to bring to the show. So tell us a little bit more about the store.
So when you think of giving gifts all year round, but particularly maybe around the holiday season, we are in an aptly named store called Giving Gifts. It is awesome. It's 5 rooms. It features over 100 mostly local artisans and companies. Many of them are fair trade or fairly made or eco-friendly. But what is unique about this store is that they are all brands with stories.
Wonderful. Now you said Lisa, the owner, she's got a real mantra that is pretty incredible, and it's, you know, people don't want to just give anymore. We're really thinking about overconsumption, recycling, that sort of thing. So tell us a little bit about what makes this store more special than the other ones.
So Lisa's mantra is, what do you love? What would you love to give? What would you love to receive in terms of a gift? Like I said, what is unique about this store is that all the brands, all the artisans are in here are brands with stories. So for example, the bracelet that I'm wearing is made from aluminum that was made from bombs that were dropped on Laos. And they've got messages of peace. This necklace that I'm wearing has, again, inspirational messages stamped on it, made by people that were transitioning out of homelessness. So every gift in here has a story to it.
So when somebody receives a gift from this store, I mean, it really is full of heart, full of stories. So you feel like you're not just buying something that's going to be put aside.
What would you love? What would you love? What would you love to give? What would you love to receive? And to me, that is the spirit behind giving. And in Giving Gifts, you're going to find everything from housewares, jewelry, bags, baby gifts, clothing, cards, eco-friendly,
I know, I've
everything.
Through. I've already picked up a few things that I absolutely love.
And Lisa can put together a crate for you. The crates are made in BC. Any price point, and, you know, a wonderful way, a wonderful spin on the holiday basket or the gift basket, if you will.
Excellent. Thank you, Clara. Beautiful place. We certainly encourage everybody to stop in here.
Yeah, come check it out. I've done almost all my Christmas shopping.
You'll definitely
already
find something here.
Yeah, which I'm happy about.
This episode of City Vibes is brought to you by Pure Maple Water, your pure and natural hydration source.
Well, here we are over in North Van, and Lena, we've been doing the show a long time, but I think this is the first house party that we've ever covered.
Well, it's a little more than a house party. This is basically what they call small luxury. It is a beautiful home, 5,100 square feet, but what David Christopher's Signature Estates real estate firm has done is they've designed this house, they've done the interior, as well as done all the landscaping. It is very, very high quality in North Van. Just a gorgeous place.
Well, let's go check out the party. Lena's going to talk to David too. That's all coming up right now.
Well, David, you run a firm that is very unique in the industry. You actually do a multitude of things. Can you describe that for our viewers?
Well, to begin with, what I'm responsible for is creating not only the architecture, but the interior design, the landscape design, all cohesively designed by myself personally. So I don't leave it to staff. I don't have junior staff to take care of the details. I design every part of the building myself. And probably the most unique part about what I do is what I call design management. So I am there to watch the construction all the way through. This house, for example, I would have been here maybe 3 times a week, meeting with the framers, the people who are doing all the cabinetry details, tile setters, really going over every single detail on site to make sure it happens exactly the way I want it to be.
So on average, how many projects do you have ongoing? Because that sounds like you've got to be in a lot of places and you must work 24/7.
Something like that. Right now we have over 40 projects going.
Wow. So how do you get to everyone and make sure all of your brain details are there?
It's a good point. I actually travel around. Most of my day is actually occupied by traveling around from job site to job site to job site. One of the things that I came up with a few years ago is that I realized I was spending so much time in my car that was useful time that I could be working elsewhere. So what I've done in the last 5 years, I actually have a driver. So in one of my cars, I actually had a custom-made desk. So I'm actually working, drawing details on the road, doing phone calls, emailing, texting. That's one of the big pieces for me.
Wonderful. Now, we're in a very unique house, but from what I gather from your designs, every house you design is unique. You don't have a cookie cutter. Someone can't go, oh, that's a David Christopher. So explain that sort of design concept that goes through your mind each time.
That's actually quite a funny thing. I used to say to people, I don't have any style. And they're like, what? I'm like, no, I don't have any style. And what I mean by that is literally every single house is proprietary. So the very first thing I do is analyze the property, or if it's a custom house, I'm talking to the owners of the pieces that they like. And we literally go on an architectural adventure with every single project. So this house, yes, this is a great sort of heritage-inspired home, brand new home, but really with great original heritage detailing. But this is not typical for me. So I can show you large-scale properties and the British properties that it might be classic, they might be modern, they could be West Coast. I've got a fantastic house on the market right now, which is on the West Van waterfront, and I call it the origami house. It's a very, very modern house. The roof itself looks like it's created out of aircraft wings.
Oh, goodness.
And it looks like it's kind of an architectural ode to 2 birds in flight, side by side, that are flying off the cliff. So super, super modern. I think that's probably one of the ones where I could take people here tonight and then show them that one and they'd be like, there's no way you design both of them.
That's fascinating, but you are here, this home is in North Van. You've done a lot of work in West Van. You've brought what you're calling small scale luxury. This is under what you're normally making, the 10,000 plus houses. This is 5,100 square feet, but you brought all the highest quality designs here. I guess to introduce the North Van folks, that they can have very high luxury.
We've seen a lot of speculative builds in the last few years, particularly in Edgemont Village area, and there is almost an Edgemont box style. So when I was approached to do this particular house, I talked to our developers and said, the last thing I want to do is build another one of those houses. Let's do something completely, utterly unique, because we only need one buyer.
Yeah.
And I really believe what I know about Edgemont I know that there are people who love Edgemont Village so much that they could easily afford to live in other areas of the city, but they choose to live here.
Oh, it's beautiful on the North Shore.
So the whole idea was, can we build something better that's more attractive to somebody who wants to stay here and have the benefits of a really custom-made house without the hassle? Because they can just write a check and move right in.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Well, it's a gorgeous house. We're going to be showing the audience all the little details. And so thank you for spending some time with us today. What a great event, and pleasure to meet you, David.
Thank you, very nice to meet you.
Well, David, I'd say any party I've ever been to or have hosted, things always seem to end up in the kitchen. I think that's where all the action is. This is one hell of a kitchen, too. Of course, you've got a lot on the go. Talk about your involvement with why we're here tonight.
Right. Well, I decided a few years ago to get David Christopher to come in on a 5-house build. David had certain visions of what he thought North Vancouver should have.
Yeah.
He'd always built in West Vancouver, never in North Vancouver. So this was sort of an idea that we had to build some homes in North Vancouver and change the market drastically. And yeah, this is the product you're seeing. This is the first of many to come. They're all coming to market in the next 6 months.
Very good. Can you talk about how your business has grown over the years with Miles Motor? I mean, as long as I've known you, you've been a part of that and been the owner of it. How has things changed in that regard of the business?
Well, the taxes are affecting us a bit.
Okay, taxes, of course, yeah.
The taxes change things a bit. But the other side, we're always branching into new things. We're going to our new space next year.
Which is where?
Literally right across from Lamborghini at the corner, 3 minutes away from 3 minutes walk from the car dealership. So it's going to be a different changes coming up in the next year. So it's going to be big growth despite the taxes.
Other than the taxes, yes. Well, I don't think you're going to find anybody watching tonight who's going to be pissed off at that. I got to ask before you leave, are you a football fan? Soccer?
Yeah,
Who do you
yes.
support?
I'm a Millwall supporter, actually.
All right.
Millwall.
I'm an Arsenal supporter, so this is okay. We got an Arsenal and Millwall supporter actually here and actually getting along. So cheers. Thank you for including us tonight, pal. Good to see you.
Good
Cheers.
to see you. Take care.
Well, we're back here at D6 at the park. We're kind of in the very cool library pool table loungy area of D6, and we're back here for the second part of our Octavia Vodka segment. We're showcasing another cocktail here at D6 with Octavium. We should say one of many good pieces of news with this company is that they're Canadian-based and locally their offices are here.
Made in Vancouver, yeah?
Yeah.
And it's filtered 8 times, has glacier water, it's as smooth as it gets.
Very nice. I think they use the word polished.
Polished, yeah.
Yes. Okay, Mateo, you're back here with us. Tell us about this next drink that I'm going to sample.
This is pretty much wants to feature vodka more as possible. So it's pretty much a straight martini
Right.
with a little bit of bitters. And the cube is a chamomile and honey cube. So while you drink it, it gets a little sweeter.
Ah. And so you should sip it slowly enough so that the cube is gone.
However you want it, really.
Yeah, well, I guess it's up to me, isn't it? I am paying for the drink. I like the sweetness of that. That's really good. Very nice. This is called what now?
Douglas fir.
Douglas fir. And this is just
Douglas
for Douglas fir. Okay, we're going to try one more drink in just a few seconds.
Well, we hope you're enjoying the show, and we're back here at Hubcast Studios just to give you a little reminder to follow us on our social media, and we can be found
At Our City Tonight on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you have any questions, comments, or even story ideas, reach out to us that way.
absolutely. Let's get right back to Our City Tonight. Well, we're here in Vancouver at the Weston Bayshore. It's a beautiful backdrop here, and we're excited to be talking with Jennifer. Jennifer, we love this luxury car, but there's so many great differences that so many people don't know about Genesis. And tell us some of the differences. I know that the main experience is that you go to all of your clients. And so what is that reaction for them? Basically knowing that they don't have to go onto a car lot. I mean, as women, sometimes that can be a really scary proposition. So you go to them in all aspects.
Yeah.
Describe that.
Absolutely. So with Genesis, basically our motto is we come to you. So whether you're at home or at your office and you need to look at a new car or get your car serviced, we actually come to you for both of those things. So it saves you time. You don't have to come to a dealership.
which is exciting. And actually, so many people are so busy. So I think this is really, truly, you're starting something in the luxury market that no one else is doing. And I know how busy we are. You go and pick them up. When you actually go to their home, I know you've told me that a lot of them think, in the number one, it's inconvenient. So it's a little bit of a push to get you to do that in the first place.
Yeah.
But then when you show up, what is their reaction?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. People think that they're inconveniencing me to come to them, and that's a typical reaction. They're like, well, I'm in West Van or I'm in Langley. I'm like, no, my day is spent going to my test drives. That's what I do. And they're thrilled when I get there. I think for them, the biggest thing is I've had people, they're like, I just saved 2 hours of my day by you coming to my office for me.
And one of the things you mentioned too, which makes complete sense, is they're driving in an area that they're used to driving in, so they're not nervous. They're actually driving, say, to the grocery store, or driving around their neighborhood.
Yeah.
But one of the things I imagine you get is that is this an extra cost to do that?
Oh, the at-home service is all included. So with the price of your vehicle, the nice thing is you can go online, build your car, and the price that you see online is what you get when I come to your door, and all that's included. So not only do you get the at-home service, you get the maintenance included as well, and you get a courtesy car with your servicing. I'll actually drop it off for you.
Oh, and I've heard so many horror stories actually lately about some of the major top luxury brands that they're just kind of losing that little bit of service edge. So coming into the market, Genesis, they're definitely going to take over that. Can you give us a little bit more on some of the experiences that you've had with this new service?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing for nowadays is people are busy. They don't have a lot of time. They don't want to sit at a dealership for 2 hours waiting for their car to get serviced. Most recently, I had somebody that worked at home, and I went to his home, I picked up his car, and I left him a car to use while we had his vehicle. And he was like, this is great. He's like, I got so much done. I would have had to drive an hour in to get my servicing, spend an hour at the dealership, and then an hour home. So he's like, you just saved me 3 hours. So.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah. It's like no one really looks forward to going shopping for a vehicle. Well, thanks, Jen. It's just such a great program. Where can people find more about Genesis Richmond?
Absolutely. We have genesisofrichmond.ca, and that would be the place to find it. It'll directly get them in contact with me.
Well, our city tonight is very proud to be a part of this woman's gathering of people, a foundation. We've been doing it the last 4 years. Wendy, for people that may have not have seen our segments in the last few years on Our City Tonight, can you talk a bit about what this is all about today and where it's all going?
Absolutely. So we have 1,000 people sold out at the Park Hotel today, so we're super excited about that. Pacific Autism Family Network is a charity throughout British Columbia that is dedicated not only to helping those with autism, but all developmental disabilities of all ages. And we have our hub, 60,000 square feet in Richmond, but also now centers open up in Kelowna and Prince George.
You know, one of the things you mentioned last year when Lita and I were at your previous, or I should say last spring, we were at the last spring event. With this, you're really seeing where the money is going. And you just mentioned like the new place in Richmond and in Kelowna. How many people are involved in this?
Thousands. And so we have a lot of volunteers, and we're raising money today for a seizure clinic, a sleep disorder clinic, and it's not only at the center, but again throughout British Columbia, a hair cutting program, as well as a monthly birthday party club, because kiddos with autism should all have a friend on their birthday.
How long have you and your husband been doing this? It seems like a long, long time.
We started this initiative about 13 years ago, and it's a big one, as you can tell, and it's involved thousands of people across Canada now. We're actually launching a national initiative because the federal government believes so much what we've done here in British Columbia. They wanted us to take this across Canada. So it's BC's really leading the charge in autism.
And Wendy, if people are inspired by what they're seeing here in this large room today and what you and your husband and the whole team do, where can people find out more information?
Pacific Autism Family on the internet, as well as calling us at the hotel or the center. We'd love to have everyone involved. We need lots of volunteers, and if there's any barbers out there, we need your help.
Good, excellent. Okay, so they want to help out, they can find that online on your website as well. Wendy, it's every time I see you, you're running a million miles an hour because that's what you do and that's what you do well. So thank you for taking some time for us today on Our City Tonight.
Thank you.
Cheers. Okay, we've been having some laughs here before we started the interview. I've got a lovely couple here who who gave some wonderful speeches. And you know, one of the great things about this fundraiser, this luncheon, is the speeches, because when you get people on stage who talk about autism and how it's touched them. Silken, I thought your speech about your daughter, can you talk a little bit about that for our viewers out there? Because you talked about goals and purpose.
Yeah, it was just really
Goosebumps.
How, you know, I was fortunate as an Olympic athlete always to have a sense of purpose in my life. I woke up every day and I knew that training for a gold medal was my purpose. And I believe everybody deserves that sense of contributing, having a place and meaning in the world, including people with intellectual disabilities and autism. In order to have meaningful work, a lot of the time they need extra assistance. They need, you know, they need to get into the routine. They might need some, you know, help on the front end. Usually they make amazing employees. You know,
Yeah,
loyal,
that's what you were
less
saying.
absentee
Yeah,
rate,
yeah.
right? And our daughter is profoundly affected by autism. She's 23 years old. She's probably never going to live independently. But you can see the pride she gets, everything from making me a birthday present to, you know, working in her garden and all of these things. And it's just the idea that everybody deserves to have that sense of contributing and having a meaningful place in our communities.
I think one of the other great speeches delivered by you today, sir. I love, again, I said to Wendy earlier that with this, you really see where the money is going. You know, in so many different ways. You talked about a great thing you were doing today about matching and everything like that, and it's a beautiful thing to do actually in terms of donations, because as I said, you really see where the money's going with something like this. Can you talk a little bit about your involvement in this?
Well, Good Life sponsored the building of the Autism Center, the Pacific Autism Center, but today was about the first responders program they've created. And so we've experienced when the RCMP came to an issue that our daughter had done in a public place. And luckily, the officer had a sibling with autism. But our goal is, from the first responders program, is that every fireman, every police officer knows about autism and special needs, so that when they come to a scenario, they come with a higher level of understanding and compassion. They have compassion anyways, but this way they can know what to do and how to do it, so that the person they're coming to is undamaged.
I mean, it really is the greatest fear of those of us who have children who act out, who may act out in public places.
Or
is
adults.
somebody going to come through? Yeah, is somebody going to come through the door, guns blazing? You know, and you actually, you know, it almost makes you not ever call 911, even when you actually are physically in danger.
Guys, I appreciate you breaking up your lunch to come over here, first of all, and great speeches today, and thank you for all your contributions to this, because it is a spectacular cause to be a part of. Can you give some more information on where they can find you guys and your involvement, websites, what now?
Then go ahead.
Well, they can get to us through Good Life Fitness. I mean, Patch has a very public email address. And also through the Autism Center, just by connecting with the Autism Center. If they want to make a donation, we are going to match that donation.
Yes,
here in
heard
the
that today. Beautiful. What a great lunch. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it. Thank you. Well, we're at our final spot at D6, right in front of the fireplace. Very cozy, and Mateo and I are joined by Octavia, vodka PR expert and friend of our City Tonight, Marquetta Newberry. And she's joined us for a special drink, which is interesting. You'll find out in a second. Mateo, what are we having for our last
So
drink?
we have the Jackie O, obviously featuring Octavia, a little bit of yuzu syrup, Angostura bitters, and Prosecco.
Very nice. And because you do remind me of Jackie O with your style and hair. No glasses, though. Anyway, this is wonderful. And you'll find this drink, obviously, through the holidays here.
Throughout the
D6.
holidays,
Okay.
yes.
Well, that does it for this edition of the Octavia Vodka cocktail segment. We wish you happy holidays right here from D6 and Octavia Vodka. Cheers.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. One more.
Oh, I'm already drinking. Sorry, that's fine. I'm very eager.
Closed captioning for this episode of Our City Tonight provided by Pure Maple Water, your pure and natural hydration source.
Well, a gorgeous holiday afternoon here in downtown Vancouver. Time for some DVD suggestion picks. I know everybody PVRs these days and has Netflix, and that's all great, but I had a number of people come up to me and go, I still have a DVD player. Can you suggest anything for that person in my life? We're going to do that right now. I've picked three that I really, really enjoy. Let's start with Seinfeld. Everyone loves Seinfeld, at least most people do. Has it been 20 years since the show went off the air? Yes. May of 1998 it went off the air. Now you can pick up the box set. Of course, remastered, the complete series. Lots of great stuff on there, along with all your favorite episodes. Look for it. It's available now. It's Seinfeld, the complete series, kind of the 20th anniversary of it going off the air in 1998.
You want bread?
Yes, please.
$3. What? No soup for you.
Okay, Tom Cruise, well, he reinvented himself and has had a good run with the Mission Impossible movies. Now, I've said on TV for many years, I'm not a huge Cruise fan, but I admire his work ethic and his commitment to a character, and that's what he's done with the Mission Impossible series, which started in the mid-90s and was still around and is still around 20 years later. Look for the box set, includes the latest film. Okay, my last pick and my favorite of the bunch is a box set of a series many of you may not have heard of, but if you're a fan of British drama, and I certainly am, cop drama, mystery, all that stuff, you'll find it all in Vera. Oscar-nominated actress Brenda Blethyn, who's been around for a long time, excels in this career-defining role as the superintendent chief inspector for a police station in the Midlands in the Newcastle area. All 7 series available in the box set. She plays Vera. There are some great selections for you this holiday season on behalf of Our City Tonight. Whatever you're doing gift-wise, have a good time. And thanks to all the folks who contributed to this segment. It's time for another Our City Tonight movie review. Paul Greengrass is one of those great directors. As a matter of fact, he had 2 movies in my top 10 for the first decade of the 21st century, that being United 93 and Bloody Sunday. This time he's back with a movie on Netflix that's simply called 22nd July. This is about that tragic, horrific scene that took place just outside of Oslo back in 2011, July of that year, when 77 teenagers were gunned down by a right-wing extremist. This is not a movie you enjoy, folks, but Paul Greengrass knows his way around these kind of tragic films, and I'll tell you what, he does another splendid job. If you're looking to see how these kind of events really do affect the families, this is something you might want to check out, but do not let the younger ones see this. It is a very disturbing movie, but in Paul Greengrass's hands, it is a great movie, and this probably would be in my top 10. One last Netflix show to pick up for home viewing is Chris Pine as Robert the Bruce, who got a real beating in Mel Gibson's mid-90s movie Braveheart. He gets his due now as the first King of Scotland. Chris Pine is in this movie. Look for it on Netflix as well. Little fictionalized at parts, but overall I did enjoy it. It gets a 7 out of 10. Those are your movie reviews that we're doing here at Atlas Steak and Fish. Well, we're back here at Hubcast Studios, which means our show has come to an end.
And we had a lot of fun on this episode.
That's right, I'm Jim Gordon.
I'm Lita Leapin.
We'll see you on the next edition of Our City Tonight.
Genesis Richmond. Test drive, purchase, maintenance. They come to you.